Hey everyone, I'm back here with our third video in the installment of the Corlero demo gameplay. As always, please like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this content, and we'd really appreciate it if you check out the game on Steam, can play the demo, and wishlist it if it seems like something that interests you. But that being said, let's get into the gameplay. So right here we've got two Mako chain wielders, which is a very strong start, so I am going to level up and throw in the whole team here and see if I can't get a nice little win streak going. So with 4 units to their 3, this should be very strong with the early crowd control from the Mako. Be able to snowball this forward and really rep the rebellious crew, which is the current name of our team. We also now just saw a very early 3, a Joyous Illuminator, so I'd very much like to play this combination of units. Let's see if I can find any cool traits here. So Demolitionist and Infused and Fearsome, these are all things that I'm looking to continue doing. I think our 4th unit is not necessarily going to be that great as far as contributing to the traits we already have here. Preparedness is an option, so maybe I will just throw that in. We're at 6 gold. I'm going to sell these 3 to go to 9, see if I can't win to bump this up to 10 and gain the 1 interest as well. This is certainly a team we could beat. It will be nice and grouped up here as long as Joyous Illuminator can get an area of effect coming out right around now. Should be enough for us to pull ahead here and pick up this victory and get our win streak to 2, get our interest up to 10, and really put us in a great position moving forward. So nice 1 interest, 1 from winning, 2 from streak. Very good stuff. So we did see Fearsome. We also have this Preparedness as the option. So Double Agent is pretty interesting because it will give our Preparedness units 50 attack and 12 mana per second, but it also will give half of those bonuses to the units that get revealed when we're scouting the enemies. So can be a bit dangerous. Sounds kind of fun. We could also just take Cleave Frenzy and try to ball up units as we pull them in. Let's try Preparedness Double Agent though, just for a little bit of fun. And I will decide to level up here and try something like this. So we're going to get to scout our team, see if there's something vulnerable to hooks, and try to see if we can't, in that early window, snowball through with hard hitting, lots of mana. We're also at 11 gold, so we could kind of buy one of these 1 costs without affecting our economy. Hydra Zoe has Infused, which is shared with the Mako Chain Wielders. The Lone Sharks are sharing both the Crime Lord and the Fearsome trait, so I will just pick that up, though I don't know that we'll be going in any of those directions. So we scout here. We see 3 Commander Battle traits active on units. Here we see a couple of Fearsome Maul, so that they might be able to run through our sort of weak backline right off the rip, which isn't great. I think I will try this, see if we can't pull in these cultists that were hiding in the back. They both got buffed with damage, but they're crowd control off the start. So let's see if we can take care of their problematic units pretty quickly here. Not bad. Got a little bit dicey there, but Joyous Illuminator outputting quite a lot of damage, which is very nice. We're at 19 gold. Economy is interesting. We could, I think I am going to pick up this Snow Chucker. It's just figuring out how we get our gold up. So we could ditch both of these just as a guarantee. I think there's some chance we end up losing here. And I am going to put these units, they both have a range of 4. So they should be able to hit frontline units, and this will let me scout here and see if there's vulnerable units here, so it'll kind of give me information on what Mako is going to pull. So you can see if there's a team that is vulnerable to this. So right here I see this Tommy Tuscan they would not like to have hooked. These, here there's a lot of crowd control coming out, which I'm not terribly upset about, but I think I will try this because I feel like pulling in the Tommy could end up being a pretty good play if I can deal with it. But that Tommy is still alive. Okay, we were able to take care of it. Now it's just whether or not we're able to clean this up before we run into too much of a problem. It's going to be kind of close here. Okay. Whew. we got there. Now we get to pick a jewel. Reflect, starting mana, ability mastery. Definitely going to take the ability mastery for choice. Illuminator. Here we're at 31 gold. I can pick up the Tommy Tuscan, and if we win, we get this, keep this going here. So we're just going to keep kind of greeding a little bit. Our team is not very strong. I'm expecting we're going to lose this streak here, but we'll see if we can't leverage the fact that we have preparedness to find the weakest of the three teams and find a good matchup for us. But so this team has a few level 2s. Some crowd control. Here they hit the level 2. So I think we'll still be pulling in the Tommy, though this was a close fight. This team, pesky. I feel like our crowd control from Joyous Illuminator might be able to take care of this. And it's unclear what level they are. They're not showing any backline units. There's probably a unit hiding here in front or up there. Let's see. Yep. So this might be a place where Joyous Illuminator can buy us a lot of time. If these rockets hit, we get a lot of disarms out here, buy additional time. You should be able to get another cast off, which I think will be enough for us to deal with most of the summons and just kind of clean this up. So we just found a good matchup where Joyous Illuminator, especially picking up that extra ability mastery from the Masterful Amethyst, letting us leverage our good matchups. So we're at 42. This might be a turn where I want to, and it definitely, looking at where we're at, I would like to try to protect this streak of 5 and maybe put us in a better position to see different traits. So I'm going to commit a little bit here to trying to find preparedness units, hit some level ups here. I'd like to hit at least one thing. That's an early Iceberg Golem. This Mako might end up not being what we're looking for here. I'm actually just going to roll very aggressively to try to get some level ups. We also see a Slick Snipper. I am going to be a bit greedy here and sell the Mako, so I can kind of decide on whether or not I want to keep the Iceberg Golem and the Slick Snipper, but I would like to hit a level 2 here. So as far as any sort of trait overlaps, it's a little late for Crime Lord in the demo. Unyielding is a possibility, though Crime Lord is on Informant. And then as far as Taunting, Debilitating, I'm actually not a big fan of either of them, so I think I'm actually just going to make a greedy play here and ditch that. And maybe that's enough. Alright, so let's try this. So, this seems okay to me. I'm not sure, kind of depends on the matchup, whether the Masterful Amethyst will be better on Snow Chucker or Joyous Illuminator. I think I'm going to hedge and put it on Illuminator here and see if we can't find an AoE team. So this team just has overpowering neutralize. They're going to rip through our front line. That might be a problem. This team has Fearsome Terrify, so they're going to stun and probably similarly rip through. This looks like sort of a similar matchup here. I think they're at a better power level than us, and we're going to be giving them power with Preparedness Double Agent, so I don't think we're going to be able to beat this, but it might be our best chance. So let's see, it'll probably be pretty explosive with rockets and snowballs kind of lighting up the screen here in a second. And we'll just kind of see whether or not we're able to punch through. Their Snow Chucker is going to have a window here, but it's not all that threatening yet, so it looks like we were actually up an entire unit, which helps. They did have quite a few level 2s, but definitely take that, extend our win streak here. Mana Battery Tank. I'm going to pass on the Crime Lord because I really, in the demo, with us only having 3 total traits and only playing the limited number of turns and not playing to the full 24, Crime Lord's not going to have as much time to give us as much gold as I would like. Death Dancer Heroic is definitely interesting, being able to fly to safety, but the fact that we have Double Agent, which is kind of partially a utility trait, I think it will end up being more important for us to give something that's kind of ramping up damage. Mana Battery Tank, not the best option for Snow Chucker. He would prefer, since he only has 50 mana, one of the different variants, but this will give us another angle of attack here. The Exiled Teacher is definitely the kind of 4-drop that we could fit in here, though being a healing unit and not having a strong front line, it's going to be awkward trying to figure out how to fit that right now. So I feel like we're probably going to have a loss coming soon, and we just need to figure out what the best plan is for whether or not we want to try to commit to keeping our win streak going, or if we're just kind of reserving ourselves to a loss. I think I am actually going to pass on the exiled teacher and try to keep our options a little bit more open and the other aspects of it. I just don't see the heals being all that effective because we do not really have a defensive front line, and I don't see a great way for us to get there. So this team has recovery mitigate, which seems like is not too bad for us. Here we've got Specialize is another caster team, a little scary to be giving them mana. And this is another caster team, so I could see us doing alright with a lot of these. I am actually going to try fighting the Specialized team here, because I see a little bit of summoning, and they do seem kind of grouped up due to having roosting, where they want to get extra mastery by being near each other. So I'm just kind of hoping Joyous Illuminator can pull a lot of weight here, and we can get through. So they don't have a super threatening front line. We can maybe get to the back line and be okay, but I think we are going to be a little too weak. It wasn't a complete blowout, but I just don't see a way. I think we're just going to take this loss and be okay with that. And then we could look at whether or not we want to make 6 gold here. We might be able to sell the bench, because these seem like weaker options, so I think I will do that, and we'll just accept that if we take a loss here, it's okay. We've got some life to play with. Just try to make it close. So this was the team, I believe, that we just fought, if I'm not mistaken. That was an acceptable loss, so I think I will just probably reserve myself to taking that loss again. Could play out a little bit differently, of course, but not the worst, and would actually be better for us if we just got like a close loss rather than a win just for streak reasons. So wasn't the best, only killed a couple of units, but that's okay. Run shall continue. As far as a jewel, decreasing mana cost by 20 seems pretty great, as it looks like Snowchucker is going to be one of our most important units. Getting another level 2 Snowchucker in play would be great. We may even want to just ditch this Informant. It's really not what our team is trying to do, and in fact that will put us at 29, which means there is some possibility for our team to win, but I really don't think so, and I am going to just pass on these 4s as well because they are pretty expensive, and I'm just going to pretend that there's some chance we can beat it. This team looks pretty powerful. This team's going to has some pretty strong front line. This is even more strong. So one of these two teams, they don't have Stalkers. They have some melee units. This team is maybe the least threatening. But this Vengeance, I think these are all probably going to be pretty difficult for us to beat, which is fine. I'm looking to pick up probably 2 more losses before we try to stabilize and end strong at the end of the run. So they do still have their Death Dancer. I'm not even sure. Yeah, so we got a couple of Death Dancer triggers, but just a lot of solid, consistent output there. But we do like seeing our Snowchucker putting out good damage. So we are going to get a trait option here, which is looking like what potentially Ritualists, though we don't have that many of them. Multicast, Demolitionist are probably the most appealing, so we do have Multicast on the Exiled Teacher, so it might be time for the Exiled Teacher to kind of come back in here to help our traits out. We'll play something like this, which will give Multicast, Recovery, Demolitionist, Death Dancer as our options. Have a pretty decent chance of seeing Multicast and also be okay with Demolitionist pickup, and then we'll kind of go from there. I'm going to fight this Vabathana's team, because we aren't that big into attacking. We are going to feed them a bunch of mana, so Vabathana is going to come out pretty quickly here. Probably in a handful of seconds we should see Vabathana pop up. But the silences actually buy us a lot of time, so it did delay it a fair bit. So regardless, this is a pretty decent outcome for us. It looks like it's going to be a close loss where we clean up a fair bit, only 2 units and some summons, so a loss of 5, not too bad. 7 life is a little dangerous though, and we do see multicast, efficiency, and demolitionist, which is great. Efficiency is going to be typically the best variant for Snowchucker to really become a threat. Now we have a lot of money to play with. So I'm going to level to 7, and we do have an option to double level here, level to 8, but that would take 28 of our 33 gold, which would make it pretty hard to accomplish anything further here. And I am pretty much just looking at units that have traits that are appealing for rounding out our team. I think it's unlikely we play either the Informant or Tommy Tuscan, but I'm pretty much just going to roll all of the gold down looking for that sort of stuff. So let's see what we've got. So we weren't able to hit a level 2 Joyous Illuminator at least yet. The Exiled Teacher, having multiple, the Exiled Teachers could kind of play as our frontline sort of units. I don't know that getting another Cultist Teacher is necessarily what we're going to be looking for. Maybe we build a frontline that looks like this. Very weird kind of team, but we can try to split the wave with some casters, and maybe that's something. I think this is our best speculation on the bench, though. I don't think we're not going to get another trait, so the Ritualist won't particularly matter. It's kind of as is here, but we only have a few more turns, so let's just see if we can get our Snow Checker protected from being hooked, and see if we can find a team that doesn't have strong pressure to push through our front line, because it still ended up being our weakest. That looks like it'll be pretty appealing as a matchup for me. This is Daxalon, which will burn the world. We do have healing and shielding, which is pretty good. This is a bit of an anti-caster team. Not going to be very fun for us to fight. So I am going to pick the Summoner team, and I'm hoping the Joyous Illuminator can buy a fair bit of time, and there's lots of ticks, individual hits that will feed mana into our Exiled Teachers and our Prophetic Puffin, so maybe our frontline can live and stall long enough with a combination of the Joyous Illuminators and give us time for Snow Chucker to pull ahead and become an offensive threat. So we do see the heals coming out here. We get some rockets, buying some more time, the heals, the shields, buying us an incredible amount of time, and they only broke through one of our units, so it should be a very clean end here, and that was a very strong matchup for us that we'll be looking for again. So we do find another level 2 Snow Chucker, definitely going to slot that in over one of these Joyous Illuminators. It's possible that the Masterful Amethyst should now go on the Snow Chucker as well, as we could see the one that had the mana reduction was really putting out a lot of damage and helped us pressure things. This Flamingo is definitely getting picked up. And it's going to be matchup dependent, whether or not the Flamingo or the Joyous Illuminator or the other level 2 Snow Chucker and the positioning, or potentially even one of the Exiled Teachers. If we fight a team that has anti-healing, I could see a lot of this shifting around. So let's see if we can find another good matchup. That looks pretty great here. This does not. I feel like they will jump onto the backline, rip through us. We've got the level 3 Shrimp Forker with triple traits and anti-healing. Pretty not great matchup for us there. And this, we've got a fearsome Devourer team, so not super threatening, but it is still a lot of pressure that will kind of rip through our front line. So definitely going to be between these two teams, but I feel like this Shrimp Forker team is pretty scary, so we're going to take the Summoner matchup, see if we can punish the positioning here and get a lot of rocket crowd control. They were able to break through our first frontline unit. We got a lot of shields coming out here. Hopefully we get another shield, some more heals, and we're able to punch through all of it with the damage, and the Snow Chuckers will be able to pummel the rest of the damage through, and both of them outputting pretty impressive damage, being able to turn that into a victory. We make our way to the final turn of the demo as the Frenzied Wizards. We've got a crowd control reduction and damage boosting jewel, definitely not what our team is looking for. Increasing armor does shore up one of our weaknesses, and so does bolstering Amethyst, which is a good middle of the road option that I think I will take, because it will let us get some ability mastery on one of our Snow Chuckers and then bolster the health of our Prophetic Puffin. So that will kind of accomplish both tasks for us. And now, since we are in the final turn, we would need 24 gold to level up, which we certainly don't have, so we're just going to roll and see if there's anything good that we can find. I think keeping these speculations here is probably our best option. If we go up against a caster team, we could swap in a couple of Flamingus, try to zap the mana of our opponents. If we fight an AoE team and we need it, or fight a summon team or a tentacle style team, something that's making a lot of additional things, we can get some Joyous Illuminators for some support, or swap in for the anti-healing. Iceberg Golem is also a potential tech option, but I feel this is probably our best option for rounding this out. So our first team that we see here, we see 4 copies of Herman, very close to a level 3 with 3 traits. So they do have the Executing, which is anti-healing, a lot of threatened damage here in our front line, so I'd like to avoid that if possible. This looks like slightly less damage, more crowd control from the Iceberg Golem, and also the anti-healing with Executing. And here we see an interestingly positioned Fearsome team that's looking to hook units and be disruptive with lots of stuns. So unfortunately we were not able to find a matchup I would consider to be particularly good. It's possible that we could best counter the Herman team with the Disarms with 2 Joyous Illuminators. And I don't see a lot of crowd control that we care about, as there's just the Disarm. So I'm going to try this team out and see if we need to, if 2 Joyous Illuminators gets the job done. But we can see there the problem of them being able to punch through the front line. But we do have a very explosive team. And, whew, yes, so our front line was not really doing much of anything. So we're going to go ahead and use a redo here. This is not a team where Flamingo is going to be particularly great. But here we definitely just don't even want to have our units anywhere near the front line. And it may be that we actually do swap in a Flamingo, because our units are just not living long enough for heals to be a factor. But the 2 Joyous Illuminators seem like they would be pretty great. And yeah, I think let's try something like this. See if we can just get more disarms primarily from the Joyous Illuminators, if that will buy us the additional time with them all being near to just AoE everything down, deal with the final Herman, and thankfully, because we were able to hedge our options on our bench, we were able to determine that we couldn't find a good matchup for the Exiled Teachers. The anti-healing was something that we were able to swap out, pull in the Joyous Illuminators, and expected the Flamingo got a mana flay off, wasn't super impactful, and the Joyous Illuminators didn't get a lot of damage out, but they were able to get all of the disarms there and being able to reposition ourselves in the back line, force them to come to us, ball up on the Prophetic Puffin, and just lean into the fact that we don't have a front line, but if we're able to have this massive small battle, the skirmish back here, and buy more time for the preparedness double agent to be giving us mana regen, that we're able to get those ranged attacks in from the 50 attack damage and just delay the amount of time before they're able to leverage the bonuses that we are giving to them, and kind of nullify a lot of their traits, as their traits require them to be attacking things, and they're used to fighting teams that have frontline units, and we just avoided that with our frenzied Wizards team. So we'll accept that victory, and we were able to get to the final turn successfully. 7 health, so a bit close, but overall we were able to get pretty decent streaks going through all of it. And yeah, overall our team power is pretty good. Able to pilot a pretty strong team. Not perfect traits for Snowchucker, but we did find good options there, and overall, pretty successful run. So, as always, appreciate you watching. Thanks for the continued support. And as always, if you like, comment, subscribe, really helps us out. Feel free to check us out on our Steam page, where you can play the demo for yourself and wishlist it if you're looking forward to it and want to check us out when we release. So, thanks for watching.